But speaking of quarterbacks who you should not give the ball to with under a minute left to go in the game, we're going to talk about why we love
Hate.
Aaron Rodgers. Don't you love Aaron Rodgers?
I hate that man. But I will say this before we get into it. After I punch him in the face, I would have to shake his hand. Because as much as I hate to admit it, I can't stand this man, dog. Like, and you know why? Because it brought up what we're about to talk about. Even though it didn't even happen to me, it brings up bad memories, man. Like, just the phrasing, 3rd and 20 just brings up a bad taste in my mouth. Like, just start talking, Ashley, because,
Yes. I bet it does. Well, Aaron Rodgers, he had that terrible first game this season. Who they play again?
New Orleans.
New
And
Orleans, yes.
that's a team that I'm New Orleans, I can't figure them out yet, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Green Bay played New Orleans, and Aaron Rodgers had the worst game I had ever seen him play in the history of his career. And Aaron Rodgers he's goated. He's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. He said that game was an anomaly.
Because it was.
And judging by his past, we know it was. And judging by where we sit right now, listen, this is one of the moments where you really sit and you think, I am so blessed and grateful to be here able to witness this live, witness it happen. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Green Bay playing San Francisco. All right, 45 seconds left in the game. The 49ers down by 6 at the 12-yard line. Jimmy Garoppolo, he finds huge check over the middle for the touchdown. Okay, now they're up 1 point. 49ers up 1 point. Aaron Rodgers gets the ball back at his own 25-yard line with 37 seconds left in the game. Now listen, if you weren't watching this game, okay, or if you were watching this game, there should only be one thought in your mind. Aaron Rodgers is getting this in field goal range, and they're going to win the game. That's what I thought when Tom Brady had the ball against the Cowboys, and that's what I thought when Aaron Rodgers got the ball. No, who cares that it's 37 seconds left on the clock, and he had his own 25. Who cares? It is Aaron Rodgers. All right, so obviously they're down by 1 point. He needs to get them in field goal range. It took him 2 plays to get 40-plus yards. 2 plays to get them 40-plus yards in field goal range. And the first play, they didn't even get out of bounds. They had to run up and spike the ball. Like, come on. You know how much time went off the clock right then? It took this man 2 plays to get in field goal range. And then your boy, they tag teamed it. Miss Cleanup Woman came in, Mason Crosby, and made the 51-yard field goal.
I have a question, Ashley.
What's up?
At what point does the opposing coach become responsible for this? Because you know what's going to happen. You know what the game plan is. You know that Aaron Rodgers is on the field on the other side. I'm not, and here's what I'm asking here. I'm not saying that the other coach is culpable for scoring with 37 seconds left. You have to score. You do not try to play the game of score with as little time on the clock left as possible if you can. Especially if it's like a 4th down, it's 4th and go. You obviously have to score.
Especially with Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback.
Right, you have to score. Because I'm still not sure on him either. But you know what's about to happen. And you know what they have.
Mervin.
Just don't run man defense. Running a man defense against Aaron Rodgers with 37 seconds left.
See, I didn't even go back and look at the film and take a look at the defense on that last play.
No, I lied. I think it was I don't remember.
I don't know why they would run man defense against Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe it was a prevent. I don't know. But
let me look that up.
But here's the thing. Yeah, do that. Whatever defense anybody else has run against it, run the other one. Because clearly what they did ain't working. Unless you got the Legion of Boom out here, which might possibly be able to stop somebody, or the Steel Curtain, or a Doomsday Defense, you are not going to stop. Coaches, you know what's going to happen if you give him the ball back with a minute or less left. He has to go downfield. Play sticks. It doesn't matter. But keep the man from just slicing your defense up left and right.
Mervin, okay, listen, we all have taken tests in which we know the question.
Yes.
Okay. We know the question. We know the formula, but we can't get to the answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what that is.
Or
Aaron Rodgers has done this time and time in his career.
But here's the problem.
You know, it's just a very hard thing to do.
But here's
the formula, but some not clicking right. Some number we clicking into this formula is just not working right. And Aaron Rodgers, he's just the man, that keeps giving and keeps giving and keeps giving and keeps taking away in some instances.
Yeah.
Well, in many instances.
Let me put it there was somebody put 4 different screenshots it was on Twitter. And it was 4 scenarios Aaron Rodgers in where he should not have won the game or extended it. And you know what the caption was? He said all 4 of these, he either won the game or sent it to overtime. And it was one, I remember watching a couple before I hated him. One was against the Lions in 2015 in the regular season where he launched the ball 70 yards in the air. And this receiver came down with it. And then a couple months later in the playoffs against the Cardinals, he launched the ball another 50 yards or so in the air on a Hail Mary, and they came down with it and sent it to overtime. And the reason they lost was because of Larry Fitzgerald being great on the other side. You know what's going to happen, guys. You know what's going to happen. Figure out a way to stop it. You know what? Here's what I want. I don't condone collusion, but I want all 31 other coaches to figure out some way to have a conference and say, here's how you stop Aaron Rodgers and Brady and Mahomes with 30 seconds left. That's what they need to do. Because I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of having to have these conversations about why Aaron Rodgers is so good. I hate having to do it, but we keep having to.
Yeah. It's one of those unanswered questions. It's like LeBron. It's like Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. It's like Tom Brady. I mean, those are, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's what do you do? It's like when you're watching basketball, and then the announcer goes and LeBron does a crazy score, and they go, "What do you do to defend that?" What do you do?
That's.
And I'm looking. This was definitely a zone.
It was
defense.
a zone. This was not. Were they off? Were they playing super off though?
No, not really. Hold on, let me go back. Oh, I went back too far.
Jeez.
No, sir. No. No, they weren't. And the fact that this man had to run up and spike
it at the
and still, yeah.
That's 9 seconds gone, and they still.
Okay. Anyway, enough about his heroics. But something Aaron Rodgers. I'm still going off of why we love Aaron Rodgers. In the post-game interview, okay, Aaron Rodgers, we were talking about, the amazingness that is him and his game-winning drive. And he said, you gotta love football. Football is romantic. And then...
That is true.
I don't know why I've never thought about football in this way, being romantic, but it definitely is. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about Kansas City, and both of their losses, the teams had to go for it on 4th down just so that Patrick Mahomes wouldn't get the ball back in the final minute and break their heart. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers, you give enough time, he gonna get down there. But, when it comes to romance, and it comes to the NFL, and, just a perfect example of what Aaron Rodgers said this very last game. Let's look at this next week, okay? Tom Brady needs 68 yards to become the all-time NFL passing leader. And guess where he gets to do it?
Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Yes, sir, against the New England Patriots. It don't get more romantic than that, Mervin. It does not get more romantic than that.
You can't write the story better. You cannot write that story.
You cannot. Come on. It just, oh my gosh. When Aaron Rodgers said that, I don't know why I've never thought about football in that way, but it all just started clicking. It's sports is romantic. Of course basketball's romantic.
Of course it's in prime time. It's in prime time. Everybody's going to be watching this.
Everybody's going to be watching. This man become the NFL career passing yard leader.
To make it better, the man who he's going to take the record from is on the broadcast crew.
He is. Drew Brees.
Yes.
Listen. It does not get more romantic than this. Okay, Gronk will also be back in his old stomping yards. All we need is
Peyton Manning to be in the building, to come down from the stands. Him and Drew Brees just need to come together, give Tom Brady a big hug or whatever. Because who are the two guys? Who are the guys?
Brett Favre is still alive too, Mervin. Isn't he sitting at number 4? I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is,
yes,
Tom Brady's biggest competitor was Peyton Manning because they were in the same conference. Yes. And Drew Brees is the person who he's taking the record from.
Yes, and they're all in the same era of football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, Tom Brady is still playing, so we get to watch the amazingness. But shout out to Tom Brady. Shout out to the romance. Okay, shout out to the ex coming. Around
hey,
the
flexing.
old shout out to the ex flexing on the old boo. You know what I'm saying? Flexing. That's what this is. It's just like, we used to date, but I bossed up and I'm doing better.
Right.
And that's what's happening right now. This man, Tom Brady, come on. He about to pass 80,358 passing yards. 80,000?
Makes no sense.
Crazy.
Makes no sense.
Crazy. And he just came off of a loss too. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hey,
the Patriots about to get it.
I put it on Twitter because it was like Tom Brady right after the game. I was like, oh, hey, the Patriots finna get dubbed by 30 on Sunday, man. They finna get lit up.
Patriots are about to get it. But yes.
And of course, go ahead real quick.
I was just going to say shout out to Tom Brady and shout out to my boy Aaron Rodgers for, bringing a thought to my mind.
I was just finna say, and of course, the fact that we're saying that Tom Brady's going to light the Patriots up means it's going to be a super close football game because Bill Belichick's going to figure out a way to defend him.
Listen, Tom Brady, pause.
No, I'm not saying they're not going to win. I'm not saying they're not going to win.
You can figure out a way. You can figure out a way to defend them only so much.
That's true.
Because Mac Jones is on the other end of that
There it
ball.
is. There it is. Yep.
And if the offense can't keep up with the offense, at some point the defense is going to tire out.
That's true.
And that's what I see happening.
That's
with
also
the Patriots.
very true.
So hey, shout out to Tom Brady about to get that record. In front of your old boo thing. You know what I'm saying? Let her know. Show her you bossed up. That's how you do it. Shout out.
And come through with the ring while you're at it.
You said what?
I said come through with the ring while you're at it.
I'm dead. Okay. But another romantic thing in football in which, I don't know why I'm just discovering this. But another romantic moment in football that happened this past weekend was the Justin Tucker kick. And I'll tell you why it's romantic in a minute. Justin Tucker, for the Baltimore Ravens, he made a 66-yard field goal that won them the game. And it is the longest field goal made in NFL history. Well, Justin Tucker beat Matt Prater's record of a 64-yarder back in 2014, I think. I think it was.
I think that's when he kicked.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he beat Matt Prater's record of a 64-yarder back in 2014. Well, what's funny is on the very same day, Matt Prater was also going for his record of 64 yards or more, attempting a 68-yarder against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we saw how that went. Now, before I criticize what had happened here, you know what I'm saying? There was a reason that Matt Prater was allowed to attempt the 68-yarder. Okay, but let's get to what happened with the 68-yarder, and then I'll try to defend it a little bit. All right, so the Arizona Cardinals were kicking a field goal. Matt Prater was kicking a field goal, and the Jacksonville Jaguars obviously had somebody lined up in the end zone just in case it was short to bring it back. That man was Jamal Agnew, and yes, he tied the NFL record for the longest play with a 109-yard return touchdown off of that missed 68-yard field goal. Now, before I say, Jacksonville still lost, okay?
Yeah.
So that don't even matter, to be honest. But before I defend it, I will say, I would have trusted Matt Prater also at the 68-yard, kicking a 68-yard field goal. He made a 62-yarder just last week.
Right. And
his record is the 64-yarder.
And it's not like the kick wasn't that short. I'm going to just put that out there. It wasn't that short.
It was a 109-yard return, so it was in the back of the end zone.
Yeah. So it's not like, he probably would have needed a yard or two more on it to hit the crossbar, but it's not like it was just, it's not like he dropped it at the front of the end zone. I'm just saying that.
Right. He probably needed about 2 more yards to get the Justin Tucker doink into, the net. So, hey, shout out to Justin Tucker for beating Matt Prater's record, and shout out to Matt Prater for getting a kick six when trying to beat his own record.
And to be fair, kick sixes don't usually happen. Like,
Right.
they're a very rare play in football. So,
right. Like when Auburn did it to Alabama.
right.
That was,
Or
that
when
was,
Houston,
that was great.
or when Houston did it to Oklahoma. I was there for that. It was great.
Yep.
So now the problem is when you're kicking a field goal, the people out there on your team are usually linemen to block to make sure your kicker doesn't get hit.
Not tacklers.
Yeah, so
we all see
it can happen. But
know.
again, even then, it doesn't usually happen that often. So
Right.
you just kind of roll the dice and hope that doesn't happen.
But yeah, shout out to Justin Tucker and shout out to Matt Prater. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Why not try it against a sorry team?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?